Listening to wrong creator advice may just be the reason why you're not growing online as a creator. And unfortunately, there's a lot of those wrong advice flying around. Because we live in the creator economy, a lot of people will want to not only identify as creators, but also identify as creator coaches. But it is not every creator coach that understands what they are doing. A lot of people are just showing up to get brand deals. And not that that's bad, but if you are going to take an advice from a creator, it had better be someone who is planning to stay for the long haul. In this video, I'm going to be tackling some of this advice that you have gotten, and I'm just going to be sharing my opinion on them and what you can do instead. Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Fisayo Patrick. If you are new here, thank you so much for choosing this video. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. In this video, I'm going to be talking about wrong advice that is keeping you hidden as a creator. Wrong advice number one: experiment, experiment, experiment. Everybody says to experiment. And yes, experimenting is powerful. But here's my issue. Why experiment when you can just be strategic from the start? A successful creator does not spend time throwing spaghetti at the wall, watching for which one will stick. They show up with conviction. As a creator, you should be creating from the intersection of two things. The first one is what you enjoy doing. The second one is what your target audience will find deeply valuable. If you don't know what you enjoy, if you don't know who you are speaking to, every experiment will feel very exhausting. Before you set up your camera, before you set up your light, figure out what those two things are and you'll be sharing without stress. I've talked about how my previous Instagram account was just there. It had no strategy. It was stuck. I mean, I had no strategy to show up. I had no strategy of creating. I was showing up because I had made some mistakes on my Instagram in the past. I didn't even know what those mistakes were, but I know that I was stuck. I know that I was not being seen, and it was difficult for me to show up strategically. But on my YouTube channel, I was speaking to entrepreneurs, I was speaking to creators. On my TikTok channel, I was speaking to creators. On my TikTok account, I was speaking to creators as well. So I knew that I wanted to speak to creators. And so when my previous Instagram account was disabled and I set up a new one, I instantly began to speak to people that I knew I wanted to speak to. I knew that I enjoyed creating. I love to create videos. I love to write. I love to design. I knew that I loved creating. And I knew that my target audience were people who were skeptical about showing up as creators because of different challenges. They were shy, they didn't know where to start from, they didn't know the right tools to use, and all of that. So it was easy for me to start showing up with the kind of content that I'm showing up with right now. So you need to be strategic from the start. You need to know what you really enjoy and what your target audience will find interesting. By doing that, you scale over a lot of problems. You scale over identity problems, you scale over messaging problems, you scale over conversion problems. Wrong advice number two: start with one platform first. This sounds like a good advice, but the truth is, it is incomplete. The reason why the people who share that advice share it is because they're trying to make sure that you're not stretching yourself too thin. But as a creator, capacity building is your first step. You need to build capacity. You don't know where your creator ecosystem will take you. You don't know where the things that you share, the bold ideas that you share will take you. You need to build capacity. So the question is, are you building comfort or are you building capacity? So instead of starting with one platform and staying there, then coming over to another platform where you've succeeded, you should start with two to three. You need to understand that platforms differ from platform in terms of capacity, in terms of impact. Some platforms are stronger for visibility, some are stronger for authority, some are stronger for conversion. And these three things are the things that you need to accomplish early in your content creation journey. The truth is, if you have clarity on one platform, you can repurpose strategically to two to three platforms without burning out. For example, this YouTube video is the first place that I'm sharing this. What I'm going to do next is put it in carousels and share them on Instagram. I'm repurposing them as carousels. I'm also going to be picking them and sharing bits of all the points I'll be making, and I'll post them or as Instagram reels. And whatever I post on Instagram reels will go to TikTok, would also go to YouTube Shorts. And if I had a blog, I used to have a blog in the past. If I had a blog, I would just put the script of this YouTube video and put it on my blog as an article. So I've shared one message, I've repurposed it across multiple platforms without burning out. So the problem is not the number of platforms. The problem is your lack of positioning and your lack of understanding how this thing works. When your message is clear, adaptation becomes easier. But when your message is not, every platform feels overwhelming. Wrong advice number 3. Dancing on TikTok or on social media is fine as long as it is working. Dancing is not a strategy. Listen, leave dancing for dancers and focus on building a sustainable system that works for your business. That is not dancing. If your entire business, if your entire creator ecosystem depends on your physical ability to perform, what happens on the days when you are tired, when you are older, when you're a season of rest, when you don't feel like being energetic? Entertainment is powerful, right? It holds attention, but attention without positioning does not build authority. If you want to build something long term, your content must be anchored in systems, it must be anchored in values, it must be anchored in ideas, it must be anchored in perspective, not just performance, not just dancing. Wrong advice number 4. Being authentic means creating what has never existed. If you believe that, you will burn out easily. I used to believe this. I used to believe that being authentic meant creating from scratch, being authentic meant creating from thin air. I used to literally believe that it meant reinventing the wheel or inventing the wheel until I got burned out. And that's the problem with generic advice on social media. Authenticity is one of the most misunderstood words online. Authenticity is not creating something that has never existed before. Nobody creates from nothing. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, did not create Atomic Habits straight up from thin air. He simply refined them. Authenticity is putting your spin on what already exists. It is your voice, it is your experience, it is your convictions, it is your framework. If you don't know what you stand for, you will copy accidentally. I have a workbook that helps you to understand this properly. It's called the Clarity Reset Workbook. It forces you to answer uncomfortable questions like, why do I really want to create? What do I want to be known for? Wrong advice number 5. Just post videos. Videos are powerful, granted, but videos alone will not make you grow. The truth is that people have different ways of consuming content. People have different ways of consuming media content. Some watch, some read, some listen, some skim, some engage in the comments. Some prefer carousels, they save carousels. So you need to show up with different content formats. A healthy creator ecosystem includes short form videos, long form videos, short form videos like Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, long form videos like YouTube videos, written authority posts. So you have newsletters, you have blog posts, and even community conversations. If you rely on only one format, you limit how people interact with you. Listen, your favorite content creators are diversifying. So a lot of them are moving to Substack. Substack is a newsletter platform where you can reach your audience right in their emails. Some are already incorporating carousels into their Instagram. And there's a reason why YouTube puts the create posts panel in their platform. You can actually share static posts and you can share carousels. It is important that you take advantage of it. Also, a lot of podcast. In fact, we are in the era of podcast. Everybody and their cousin and their brother-in-law has a podcast. I have a podcast too, and it's called Realities of a Nigerian Creative. If you want to learn about how to, if you're a creative in Nigeria, you're going through a lot of challenges, and you're looking for a podcast that teaches you how to navigate these challenges, then check out Realities of a Nigerian Creative on Spotify. I'll put a link to it in the description. So it is important that you begin to diversify. Don't focus on videos alone. If you rely on only one format, you limit how people interact with you. Growth is not just about showing up, it is also about building a content ecosystem. Let me say something gently. Most of you who want to show up and become successful in content creation are stuck. But you're not stuck because you are incapable. In fact, you're really good at this. You have the capacity. You're stuck because you're not clear. You're not clear about your niche. You're not clear about your voice. You're not clear about your positioning. You're not clear about your values. You don't have a long-term direction. And when clarity is missing, every advice feels confusing. Every advice feels attractive. That's why you jump from trend to trend, and that's why you feel left behind. And that's why I keep starting over. Now, I created a workbook. It's called the Clarity Reset Workbook. And this is not a hard sell. This is something that I sat down to write after I realized that I was wasting my time online. And a couple of people have gotten it. They couldn't stop thanking me. The Clarity Reset Workbook is for creators like you, creators who are very talented but feel scattered, creators who are called to create but are unsure, creators who are tired of copying and are ready to build something intentional. If you are serious about resetting your direction, the link to the workbook is in the description of this video. Don't just consume content, right? Create content, create with clarity. I'll see you in the next video.